It was near Halloween when my friends and I were sharing ghost stories. One of my friends said she was going to tell a story about her parents' first date. She mentioned she didn't like telling the story since it was actually true, but we prodded her to continue. Her parents had a nice but a bit awkward first date. Around the time they would have said good night, the man in the situation, my friend's dad, suggested that they go for a midnight hike up the Provo Canyon. He apparently knew the place well, since he had done a fair amount of rock climbing in the area. So, the two drove to the mouth of the canyon, got out of their cars, and started hiking under just the light of the stars, as it was a new moon. At some point, my friend's dad started getting a bad feeling. He didn't know what it was. Something just felt off. The pathway ahead, which passed under some trees, would be dark, and it was getting quite late. He chose to ignore the feeling and pressed on. A minute later, the feeling came back, stronger than ever. And at the same time, his foot bumped into something, and it didn't feel like a rock or a tree branch. This freaked him out completely. Instead of finding out what his foot had bumped into, he and his date both agreed to just hightail it out of there. Years later, after being married for some time, they were watching an interview on television with the infamous serial killer named Ted Bundy. In response to a question asking him to describe the time he felt closest to being caught, Bundy explained about the night he lured a girl into Provo Canyon and had just killed her when he heard some people coming up the trail. He described how he hid in the trees just in time, only to watch some guy walk right into the body and, for some reason, just turn around and walk away.